What's going on, everyone? My name is Daniel, and Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee were announced recently, and the response was not exactly 100% positive. There were a few people pretty mad about this, pretty upset.
This isn't even Pokemon anymore. Can I please get a real Pokemon game, please?
I will not be buying these games. How dare you take out wild Pokemon battling and grinding and betray the long-time Pokemon fans just to make a game more casual and appear to noobs. Even kids nowadays want a challenge, but every game since our Gold and Soul Silver gets more childish and watered drowned. I was willing to buy a Switch just for this game, but instead I'll be buying a PlayStation 4 because these games are not meant for fans like me, and that is offensive since the kids of 90s made Pokemon what it is today.
Honestly, mate, just shut up. There's a lot of people who are concerned about where the Pokemon series is going, if it's maybe perhaps pandering too much to casual game players, and they're concerned about where it'll go in the future and what it means for the Generation 8 game. And I'm like, okay, all these responses and all of these opinions are perfectly valid, but why don't we take a step on the positive side? You know, take a little bit of a break from all the negativity and worry, and let's have a look at some of the nice things, the things I'm most looking forward to, the things that I think are going to be the most exciting parts of the new games. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. So the first thing that I'm excited for is the co-op. Now, this is something that's never been in a main series Pokemon game before. This is something that we haven't seen before, and in the first initial game on the Switch, we're having co-op included. Now, this cooperative play, it's not exactly very extensive in terms of features, and I don't believe there's any competitiveness to it, but I do think that it's an important step to take. That first initial step is into local co-op, and I know Nintendo loves their local co-op and stuff like that. Potentially some online stuff as well. In the future, we could have like full online versus competitive play against each other in the same game, where you explore the same Kanto region, the same world, you battle similar trainers, you maybe try and race yourselves or race your friends to the end of the game kind of thing. I think that would be really cool. But it is very good, this initial co-op, this local one, just for if you have like a friend that you just want to, yeah, you want to come over and play some Pokemon, chill out for a bit. Or if you have a sibling, like a little brother or a little sister, it's a good way to spend some time with them. You know, you can show them the series that you love, and maybe they'll get into it too. You can have some fun with them, and maybe they'll be more engaged because they see that you enjoy it too. So I think the co-op is a very good step to be taking. So the next feature I'm looking forward to is how the whole following Pokemon will work. Now, ever since Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out, people have gone mad over following Pokemon. Pokemon following after you, having your Pokemon appear in the overworld and being able to speak to them and interact with them, and having them behind you. It just gives another layer of this is your world, this is your Pokemon, this is your team, and here's how they feel about you, here's how they feel about this, you know, you can interact with them, stuff like that. I'm interested to see how it'll actually work, because I don't think they have following Pokemon the whole time. I know you have your Eevee or your Pikachu on you the majority of the time, like sitting on your head or something. I don't know about that. Sounds like you're gonna get some neck pain from that one, but I am excited to see how the following Pokemon mechanic will work. Now, I wasn't super hugely, like, I could do with it, I could do without it. I wasn't super concerned about it, but since I saw it in the trailer, I was like, okay, this looks really cool. You see the Electrode running, you see the Gengar flying. It looks really nice, and I can't wait to see if it's a thing that you can just turn on and off. It may be potentially a thing that only works for certain Pokemon. It might not work for all of your Pokemon, but who knows? I guess I'll have to wait and see what it's like. I am kind of excited to see how that develops, though. The next thing I'm excited about is that we are finally done with these, and we can move on to these. We are finally on a home console. We are finally in HD, 60 frames per second, and we are not chugging along in 240p standard definition like we have done the whole time. I am very much excited to finally be on a console that doesn't really struggle anytime more than 2 models are on the screen at once, and that won't have ridiculous frame lag. Well, hopefully won't have ridiculous frame lag, and will have actually decent graphics. That is very exciting. Now, I understand there's a lot of people out there who are like, I can't afford a Switch. Like, why are they not making it on the 3DS anymore? There's so many people on the 3DS and they can't play their games anymore. Like, why do they have to release it on the Switch? You have to understand, this is the natural progression in which a series develops. You have to get bigger, you have to get better, and this is a huge step for the Pokemon franchise, considering we've been on handheld consoles since the beginning. And now we're finally traversing onto a kind of hybrid between a handheld and a home console, but it does mean that it enables the designers to have so much more power behind the world that they create. And I can't wait to see what they do with that in the next generation game. Let's Go Pikachu. I made a video on Let's Go Pikachu's and Let's Go Eevee's graphics already, so if you want to know my opinion on that, you can go and check that out. But I am very excited to see what happens in the future with all this new power. Now, I talked a little bit about the following Pokemon feature that we're gonna see, which enables the Pokemon to be in the overworld, and that's cool. What I'm also excited about is the Poké Ride feature. You see in the trailer, you see yourself riding on an Onix, you see yourself riding on a Lapras, on a Charizard. Like, these aren't gonna be the only Pokemon we'll be able to ride on, and I'm really ride on? Potentially, could be another Pokemon that we can ride. I'm excited to see how that develops. Are we gonna be able to just pick any Pokemon that can carry your weight and just get on them? Is it only gonna be a set number of Pokemon? Like, what does the Onix even do? Does the Onix elevate you to a new area that you can't access unless you have an Onix? Like, maybe there's some side of a mountain and there's some items up there. The only way you can get up to it is if you have an Onix take you up there with his big long neck. Like, maybe there'll be some areas that you can only fly to. Maybe there'll be some areas that some Pokemon only have access to in the water. Maybe you need to dive into some area and there's only certain Pokemon that can do that. I'm excited to see how that develops. And I'm pretty excited to see that there's more Pokemon in the overworld. The Pokemon world in general just felt kind of devoid of money Pokemon because they're all hidden in the grass, with some exceptions of Pokemon that are in the overworld. But the majority of them were just hidden in the grass. It didn't really seem like a Pokemon world up until now, because now they're everywhere. Any route you go into, any town you go into, you're gonna see them all over the place. And that is very exciting. And I feel like that's gonna be, I use this word very loosely, more immersive for the player as well. A lot of people have been complaining about how casual Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is and how it's too like Pokemon Go, but you have to understand where Game Freak and Nintendo are coming from here. There are still a lot of people that play Pokemon Go every single day, and if they can tap into that audience and potentially bring them over and make them a core fan of the franchise, that is gonna be good for everyone. If a lot of people buy into Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and they see, since they already have a Switch from buying those games, they see next year another Pokemon game is coming out, and they buy that and enjoy it too, they've just hooked a Go player into the core franchise and have got those people buying everything Pokemon. Like, that has the potential to bring so many people in. So many new fans that have been introduced to the series through Pokemon Go can become core fans this way. And I think it's actually a very smart decision from Nintendo to make the first Switch games ones that are similar to Go, because it allows them to tap into that base of people that haven't been playing Pokemon in a long time and they've gotten back into it with Pokemon Go. They see something familiar on the Switch, they get that, and they're like, okay, I'll try the next Pokemon game too. That is a very, very big base of people that they want to tap into, and I think that's a very good idea, honestly. I've talked a lot about the Generation 8 game, you know, the 2019 game, a lot in this video, and that's because I feel like it's very important. I feel like it's very heavily influencing the Let's Go games, and I feel like potentially the Let's Go games could influence the Generation 8 games, not in a bad way, but what I do like about this is that Game Freak has more time now. They don't have to feel rushed to get this big generation core game out in 2018 anymore. They have that time to sit back and be like, okay, let's make this game truly incredible. And I'm sure they've been working on this Generation 8 2019 game since maybe Sun and Moon came out, since Ultra Sun and Moon came out, and that extra year is going to give them the time they need to polish it and make it truly something special. Now, I know that Game Freak are also working on Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee while they do the Generation 8 game, but I don't think that Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are exactly, you know, super time intensive or super difficult to create, because it's essentially recreating Pokemon Yellow on the Switch. So what they can do is they can dedicate some of the newbies, like they did with Ultra Sun and Moon. They dedicated some of the newer people, the greener people that haven't worked on many games before in the past, to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, while, you know, holding back all the oldies, all the ones that have been around for a while and worked on a lot of games, to work on the big core game of 2019. And then once Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee is done, they can go full force with everyone into that Generation 8 game and make it truly something amazing. So I'm glad that Game Freak has that extra time. I'm glad that the games most likely won't be rushed or delayed. You know, we're pretty much guaranteed to get it in 2019, and that's exciting. Now we're on to the last little points that I want to make in this video, which is that they have said that we're gonna see a Pokemon Pokemon that has never ever been seen before in this game. So, essentially, what's gonna happen here is it could be an Ultra Sun and Moon situation where it's just another Generation 7 mon that wasn't released, or what I believe is more likely is we're gonna see our first Generation 8 Pokemon in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And essentially the speculation season for the next 2019 Pokemon game will begin as soon as Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are released. And however we get access to that new Pokemon, as soon as someone gets access to it, we see our first glimpse of Generation 8. Now, they've done that before. They've done it in the past. They did that with XD Gale of Darkness and the Munchlax. They've done it with other Pokemon in the past, releasing a generation ahead Pokemon in the generation before, or teasing it, or just like slipping it in the anime, something like that. We're gonna see, I believe, the first Generation 8 Pokemon in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. So it doesn't even seem that long until we get our first glimpse of Generation 8. It's only a few months away, really. And then we'll get the full game released next year, which is very exciting. So I can't wait to see what that Pokemon is. It could be an evolution of some kind. It could be a mythical. It could be some kind of baby Pokemon that we had with the Munchlax situation. I have no idea, but it does excite me. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope you have a little bit of more positivity, you know, a little bit more excitement going into the release season for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, because, you know, I'm looking for it. Like, I'm not super sold behind it yet. I don't think it's gonna be the best Pokemon game ever. But, you know, nonetheless, I'm a fan of the series, and I'm excited for a new game. Essentially, that's what it boils down to, and I wanted to spread a little bit more positivity about the game here. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to destroy the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.